Mr. Mayor, the franchise established in 61 as the Senators and then became the Texas Rangers. The original Senators became the Minnesota Twins.
Oh, really? When did they become the Twins?
61. 71. I'm sorry, I'm on the Rangers page. 61 Senators, 71 Rangers. I'd have to go back and look at the Twins.
So, my wife's husband's brother owns a bar right near the
Oh, really? Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, they didn't really have great attendance over the last 10 years in that new park.
All right, so we're gonna call the meeting to order, but I need to sign anything.
Won't go on. Oh, there it is.
So we are, Tracy, we're live tonight.
Yeah, we're live.
All right, we're going to call the meeting of the Board of Public Works to order on October 24th, 2019. Diane, would you please call the roll?
Mayor Donches,
Here.
Commissioner Ackerman is not present. Commissioner Pappas,
Here?
Commissioner Moriarty is not present. Commissioner Tease,
Present.
And we've received a call from Commissioner Ackerman saying that he's going to be here, but that he will be late. Something held him up. Is there a motion to approve the agenda?
I move to approve the amended agenda as presented.
Discussion?
So the only reason it's amended is we mistakenly put on the sand for the street department that was under $25,000, so we pulled it off. So that's the only change on the agenda. There is a change on personnel, but I'll mention that one in non-public.
All those in favor of the motion say aye.
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 Motion passes. Is there a motion on the minutes?
Move
from
to
last
approve the
time?
minutes of the Board of Public Works meeting of September 26, 2019.
Discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Public comment? I don't see any members of the public who wish to address the board. Street Department, item A.
I'll move to approve the purchase of one upfit package from Tenco USA of Bar, Vermont, for the purchase price of $111,877. Funding will be through Department 161 Street Fund Trust Surf.
You want to just give us a brief explanation of this item and introduce yourself?
John Iver, Street Superintendent. And what you're looking at there is the motions to mount the snow gear. So it'll be the nose plow, the wing plow, the spreader, and we're adding the liquid application tanks on these vehicles
For the brine.
for the brine, yes.
And they're two identical motions, right?
Correct.
And-
So we carried up, since it's through streets, it's Nick's getting one of these trucks for park and rec, and we're replacing one of ours.
Okay. But the motion right now is on item A. Discussion, questions? All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Item B.
Move to approve the purchase of one upfit package from Tenco USA of Barry, Vermont, for the purchase price of $111,877. Funding will be through Department 177 Parks and Recreation Fund Trust Activity Surf.
Discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion
Can
passes.
I-
Thank you
can I-
very much.
All right, thank you.
Can I have one question
Yes,
before?
of course.
So, I haven't noticed in a while, and it kind of predated your time, we got those hook trucks that were supposed to be the end-all, be-all. Have we decided not to pursue those anymore? I thought we had tried one or two of those.
There was one at Park and Rec.
Talking about the Terra Star, I think. Yeah, no, that was not the be-all, end-all. We decided. And
What
we
kind of-
haven't
which
ordered
trucks?
it anymore.
They were,
Is-
they
Nick, you
called
wanna-
them the
you wanna
hook
come
trucks.
speak to it?
Okay.
John could probably add to it.
Or
There's a
John,
lot of-
yeah. John, you want to speak to
John
one of
Stewart,
you?
Fleet Manager, DPW. We found that the trucks themselves were too light duty, and they had a lot of electronic and just mechanical issues by swapping bodies and hydraulic systems all the time. It was just a hard vehicle to maintain, a lot of breakdowns.
And do we have any left in commission or not?
No.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Anything else? If not, let's go to the wastewater. Item A.
I'll move to approve user warrants as presented.
Discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Item B.
Move to approve change order 3 to the contract with Methuen Construction in an amount of $3,483.78 for the construction of upgrades to the primary tanks at the wastewater treatment facility. Funding will be through Department 169 Wastewater Fund, WRF, and SRF Loan Activity Primary Upgrade Project.
You want? This is for wastewater. This is a very, usually it's $1 million.
Yeah, no, no,
It's
it is very low, it is very low grade. I
Sorry,
mean, yeah,
It's a drop
yeah, it's
of-
usually like
drop in the
millions of
bucket.
dollars, yeah.
You're welcome.
So do you want to give us an explanation anyway?
So part of this project is to redo some plumbing. There's a underground tunnel that houses pumps, but it needs air exchange. So after doing some demo work and seeing what was going in there, it was discussed by the electrician that's working on the project that it would be beneficial to have a 2-speed starter for the exhaust system, so we can control it better from the lower level. So this is the change order to upgrade from what was originally put in the construction plans to a 2-speed starter, which wasn't in the original designs.
Okay, discussion?
Careful of paper cuts.
Now, the record should show that Commissioner Ackerman has arrived. Thank you. The motion is, we're on item B under wastewater. Is there any further questions or discussion? All those in favor of the motion say aye.
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 Motion passes. We have Parks and Rec. Mr. Caggiano is here.
I'll move to approve the purchase and installation of a playground for the Salem Street tot lot for Uniplay Playgrounds, Inc. of Uxbridge, Mass. in the amount of $39,453 pursuant to the Mass State Contract VC 000510633 FAC 104. Funding will be through Department 184 Community Development Fund Grants Activities, CDBG 17.
And that's Community Development Block Grant.
Right. So,
We've heard the motion. Questions?
just, it certainly looks like it looks terrific, but we might just want to explain why we use the block grants for it. I'm just thinking for people who may have questions.
Sure, Nick Caggiano, Park and Rec Department. Every year, we have a meeting, and the city applies for federal grants through Community Development Block Grant, and there's certain sections of the city that are eligible, and the French Hill area was in that eligibility criteria. And back in 2017, we were awarded a grant for $40,000. And by the time it all comes in, we're here and we're excited. There's a remote possibility this might even go in if we have a mild winter, but if not, it'll be first thing in the spring.
Thank you.
Yeah. The area deserves it. It needs a
Oh,
upgrade over there.
Absolutely. We used to, when my daughter was younger, we would stop there from time to time, and it was a nice little spot.
Yeah.
Anything else on this item? All those in favor of the motion say aye.
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 Motion passes. Item B.
Move to approve a contract with Northeast Earth Mechanics of Pittsfield, New Hampshire for the construction of the Greeley Park boat ramp in the amount of $419,495. Funding will be through Department 184 Community Development Fund Grant Activity, Greeley Park Boat Ramp Improvements.
Nick Caggiano, Park and Rec Superintendent. So as you all know, we've been working on this since 2003. It's been a
been that long?
long journey. And it's finally come together. The bids came in a little higher than we thought, so we revisited it. We negotiated with the low bidder. We met as a division and came up with a work plan that we're going to do some of the non-technical tasks. And again, hoping for a mild winter, and we're going to hit the ground running here in a few weeks. And this is going to get done by the end of July of next year. I gave myself a little wiggle room, but it's much needed, and a community needs this. It's a little embarrassing what's there now.
That's interesting. I didn't realize it had been that long.
Yeah, we started, and then we had gotten a grant from Fish and Game, but the railroad kind of threw us a big curveball, and I think it was Attorney Connell at the time, and it just took a long time to get everything in place, and then the funding, so it's finally here.
Questions, discussion? Commissioner Pappas.
Perhaps just in a few words, just explain to the public what kind of changes they might see.
Sure. So if you're aware of the area, and I'll be quick, there's a big loop road that gets you to the boat ramp. That road is going to become a pedestrian-only path. It'll be wide enough for fire apparatus to get down, but it will be gated, and there will be boulders in place to keep out ATVs. We're going to be cutting in a new road, a direct road, right into the area to make it easier to monitor both by the police and easier to navigate by both residents and fire. That's going to be put in. There's going to be some detention basin work, a parking lot for, I believe it's 24 spots for trailers. It will be made with millings. There will be very, very little asphalt there. It'll just be some reclaimed product. And the boat ramp will be extended and widened. The second phase will involve also a accessible loading area too. We'll see how far we get. If there's enough money left, we'll add that as well. Otherwise, we'll have to just wait until we can get some funding. So.
Yes, go ahead.
So the parking lot will be outside of the gated area where the fire trucks can get through?
No. So, if you go down right now and you take the right onto the loop road, you're going to go about 30 or 40 feet, and then you're going to take a hard left, and that's going to bring you right to the boat ramp. And at the boat ramp itself, there's going to be a parking area for approximately 24 vehicles.
Okay. And
So the record should reflect that Commissioner Moriarty has arrived. Commissioner Pappas.
I'm just thinking, will there be lighting, and are we trying to think in advance of how, if you've had problems in the past with vandalism, how we might think about
There's no lighting currently right now.
Okay, and obviously neighbors probably don't
Yeah.
want lighting.
We'd have to run a service down there probably
Oh,
too.
okay.
So at this point, no, but the future, you never know.
As I said, I'm sure the neighbors don't like lighting, but I was just
Yeah.
thinking in terms of, do you have, there's probably not much to vandalize there, is that correct?
The biggest problem we have down there is illegal dumping. That loop road is a very convenient place for people to get rid of TVs and refrigerators and things they, for some reason, don't want to bring. This is going to cut down on that
Oh, good.
tremendously.
Oh, that's excellent, thank you.
Yep.
Commissioner Ackerman.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm in full support of this. I think it's a great addition to the benefits to the residents of Nashua. Obviously, no charge to this access, correct? No charge?
No, there will be no fee to
Okay.
go in there at all.
Similar to the other boat ramp we have behind Stellos. One quick question, just so I can frame it in my own mind. In regards to the funding, the Community Development Fund, is that a third party, or do we go internally and self-fund this through, maybe you could shed some light?
So, the mayor can correct me if I'm wrong, I'll try to explain it. So we apply for grants, and you're awarded a grant, and then the project gets vetted, and at some point, there's a transfer of funds from the federal government to the city, and there's an account set up, which I believe is referenced in the memo, and it's in community development, and we use that funding.
So it's
do the
federal,
job.
federal
So-
funds that flow to
right.
the city of Nashville.
So
Thank you.
it doesn't hit the operating budget.
So this is a $200,000 grant.
Okay.
The rest of it, but there's a 50% match requirement, so the city has to match it with at least 200,000, which we're doing.
Okay.
And in the end, extra money needed to be appropriated. So in the end, more money is gonna be spent on this than the 400. But that's what's required to get the thing completed and the road built,
Okay. I appreciate that explanation.
in the improved access road.
Yep.
Commissioner
I
Pappas?
just thought of this. Will we be, once we do these kind of projects, will you be planning, I'm sorry, I don't have this
No
close to me.
problem.
Will you be planning maintenance, or are we gonna need maintenance to the road or that sort of thing?
Yeah.
Will we be, okay.
Yeah, we will. The road currently isn't plowed, only very rarely enough to get a rescue boat out there. But it'll be graded as needed and backfilled, and trash will be picked
Okay.
up. And
So someone will be checking on that, because I know
Oh, yeah.
sometimes I know my own driveway, sometimes if you just ignore things for too long, they just,
no,
to be more
we'll be
expensive.
checking it. It's right in our backyard. so.
awesome. Thank you.
Commissioner Moriarty?
Yes, hi, Superintendent, so a couple questions on this. It was months ago, it came before us, and there was like a concept design on the ramp, and I had some questions regarding the parking, whatever you call those things.
I remember. Mhm.
And I don't know if that came before us. I was just surprised when I saw this, that we didn't have something to approve the final design of the boat ramp before we're approving a contract to do the work.
I believe the final design was approved, and it went to both the planning board and the zoning board and the conservation commission before it was allowed to go out to bid.
I have no recollection of approving the final design, but maybe my fellow commissioners do. That's all. I just thought we were putting the cart before the horse, because I don't remember approving the design. That's all. I'm in favor of the boat ramp, don't get me wrong, but just, as far as procedure, I want to make sure we're doing the right procedure.
If,
Well, it may have, I'd have to ask legal. It may have come here just as an informational item. I'm not sure that the Board of Public Works, other than, well, I suppose the road, I don't know, maybe there is an approval that would be necessary, I'm not sure.
that's an interesting point.
We can ask this question and come back to you. As to
Well, can we,
clarify
would
everything.
it hurt us to put it off a month? Would that impact your schedule?
Significantly.
But we're not gonna be starting to build the actual boat ramp. We're doing our work, right?
No, the contractor is going to mobilize in late November, December,
Oh, that
and
we
he's
are.
going to be
Okay,
using
yes.
the
I thought it
old
does
road
that.
to do the work.
Okay.
Well, let us clarify everything, because we can get a clarification on where all this went and where it stands. I mean, it was mostly a community development. They were the ones really applying for the grant, right?
Correct.
We
Yeah.
have,
So they probably, is it
I
possible?
have an idea. We have a special Board of, I'll check to see if it didn't come, to your point, Commissioner Moriarty, we have a special Board of Public Works meeting coming up, so we could bring it then.
But-
So you could take a look at it.
Thank you. Mayor, if my,
Yeah, of course.
to your point, you mentioned the road, but wouldn't everything be under our jurisdiction because it is a part of the park? I'm just curious about that.
Well, you
myself.
may be right, yeah. It's in the park. right?
Greeley Park is different, though, so it's under the jurisdiction of the Board of Aldermen and the Board of Public Works because it's Greeley Park. So we would have to bring it to both boards. Technically, Greeley Park is under the jurisdiction of the Board of Aldermen, which is a little different, but we would bring that to both boards.
Clarification, any change at Greeley Park the Board of Aldermen has to approve.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, we will develop a timeline and figure out what happened. It's been in the works for
Yeah,
so long.
but-
it's
but
hard to remember.
we can bring the
It's gone
plan.
back and forth so many.
We'll bring the plan to the special Board of Public Works meeting. So we can
Yeah.
hold this if you want until then, because that's coming right up.
But
Would you like
I
to do
thought
that?
that was, okay.
It's November 7th, I believe.
But I thought you invited the whole Board of Aldermen to that.
Not the whole Board of Aldermen, just the commissioner, just the aldermen that have been helping us, looking at our facilities. So just the aldermen that are on the committee.
Because I thought I saw 20 on distribution.
No. No, it's
On
just,
the email, there were 20 on distribution.
is that the one that just accidentally got sent out from my phone that had,
Well, you know what, so.
There was a
I
strange-
think she's absolutely right, but it showed my name 3 times.
yeah, it
showed-
wasn't all the aldermen, it was just,
Yeah.
yeah. It showed, I think, it showed Commissioner Ackerman's name like
3 or 4 times.
20 times or something. Yeah, something strange happened. So I think that might be what you're referring to, but it's only Alderman Wilshire, Dowd, and O'Brien are the 3, so. So we could bring it to that meeting. That is a Board of Public Works meeting, even though they'll be there, so, if you like.
I think I would be in favor of that. Because I think the Board of Aldermen also has to approve any change at Greeley Park, and if they haven't, then I think we are pushing this.
It's been a while, excuse me, Nick Caggiano. But I believe Community Development and Director Marchant went through that whole process, and Stan Tech presented it just like they presented here. But it's been a while, so we probably should check.
I'll look into that.
We'll clarify it. Commissioner Pappas?
To Commissioner Moriarty's point, I think that a lot of times when we involve community development, Public Works gets left out of the loop. And I think that if you want to go by the charter, I think that we should be, more cognizant of not leaving this board out of the process. I didn't remember that specifically because I didn't have a specific question about that. But I do think that in government process is very important. And so those are my thoughts. Thank you.
We still have to clarify what happened. I mean, is it totally certain we did not approve it? It's been in the works for
A
a
long
long time. So this might have been here a year ago, So let's check it out. I mean, community development got the money, so that's sort of their involvement. It wasn't like they were pushing the Board of Public Works out of it. I mean, they applied for and received the funds, so, or enabled us to get the funds. But we will definitely clarify it, and if there was a glitch, we will try to correct it.
I wasn't suggesting they were. And if, I mean, I probably would have gone through and looked at the minutes, but I as I said, I have always been in favor of improving the boat ramp, and it sounds like a great plan, and I hope this won't throw our schedule off. Thank you.
Any other discussion? All those in favor, or what is the motion at this point?
We'll hold the motion until the special Board of Public Works meeting.
So why don't we
When we have
table
more
this issue? Why don't we have a motion to table till the
I'll
special?
move to table the contract with Northeast Mechanics of Pittsfield, New Hampshire for the construction of the Greeley Park Boat Ramp.
To November 7th, the meeting of
November
November 7th. All right, any discussion on that? All those in favor of the motion say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion passes. Now we have engineering.
I'll move to approve the residential and commercial wastewater service permits and fees as submitted.
Discussion? All those in favor of the motion say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion passes. Item B.
Move to approve the following poll license petition. PSNH 21-1428, 21-1433, 21-1430, 21-1434, 21-1435, and 21-1440.
Discussion?
I have a question about
Commissioner
another poll
Pappas.
license. Have we ever checked into one of the telephone poles that are really close to the road on Tinker Road by White Oak.
You had mentioned that to me, and we did make that request to Eversource. I'm not sure if they've moved on that or not, but we did make that
Because
request.
there are two of them, one in particular. It's worth taking a drive by because I do think that someone could lose their life there.
Yeah. We have a
And-
lot of polls right now that we've been asking Eversource to move.
And that said, I mean, I will, it says PSNH here, I will say that I think that Eversource has been better about maintaining stuff than PSNH was. But, I mean, if you can let them know, someone
Yeah,
literally
I-
could lose their life there.
I will.
And I know that we don't have, you know, I mean, if they're not gonna do anything, whether we contact the PUC, I mean, if you, I don't know if it's worth measuring how many feet from the road, but it's pretty close.
Okay,
Thank you.
sure.
We have an informational item, which is the NRPC pedestrian bicycle transportation study.
I'll move to accept and place on file.
Discussion?
So this is just notifying you that at the last meeting, we had approved to use sidewalk quadrant funds for a transportation study by NRPC. And we discovered that there was another funding source that had been identified in community development through an escrow. So that funding will be used instead of the quadrant funds.
Good.
So we'll save the quadrant funds
That's
for
good.
something else. So that's all that is. Okay. For our director's report, we've been doing Women in DPW Day, as we're calling it.
Saw that in the paper.
We went to Nashua South. We had about 70 young women attend, and we had women that represented all of our departments, and it's really a great day. And I think we generated a lot of interest. We brought equipment, we showed them our equipment, and they seemed very interested. We're going to North on November 8th, I believe.
Oh, good.
So, yeah. We're also excited to announce we have our new military banner program. We're going to begin advertising this program on Veterans Day. The banner's $165 and will hang on the Broad Street Parkway between Memorial Day and Veterans Day. And families can sponsor banners, and they can keep them out when we take them down. And we hope to start with 20 banners in 2020, giving Nashua residents first priority. So to honor our veterans. So yeah, it's a very
Great idea.
yeah. So we're very excited about that. We have our Fright Night coming up. Actually, this Friday from 6:30 to 8:30 at Greeley Park, and that's always a fun event.
Are we gonna be having something in particular to help with traffic, just to alert folks? Because there'll be kids going,
Yes, we will have staff there.
okay, that's
Yes,
great. Thank you.
absolutely. Yeah, we're really short on volunteers this year. I'm not sure why. We usually have about 50 volunteers, and we only have about 14, so we've had to modify some of it. But
I'll be there.
this is the youth groups working with PAL to beautify the Ash Street Skate Park. The city stage was used for the Roots Festival on October 5th, which is a showcase for local talent and bands. Students from Bishop Girton cleaned up the rail trail and library walk on Wednesday, October 9th. We planted some sustainable landscaping on Tuesday, October 8th at the Hunt Building, working with Parker Gardens, same folks who helped us with the roundabout near Nashua North, excuse me. This is a picture of the construction at the Thornton Road tot lot. We will be having, and we'll certainly let you know, but we will be having a ribbon cutting there soon.
It looks really good.
Yeah,
Looks really good.
that's a huge improvement.
Yes, it's a nice little neighborhood park.
This is just a fall picture highlighting one of the fountains and the Main Street Bridge. It's really a pretty picture. We are starting to do some maintenance at Holman. We've cut out some of the fields in preparation for sod. This is some new sidewalk installation that we did on East Dunstable Road between Judith and Raleigh Drive. This is a berm that we installed on Monica Drive to help with some drainage issues. We have our last household hazardous waste collection on Saturday, November 2nd at the street department between 8 and 12. We're asking folks to make sure that they maintain at least 3 feet of separation between their trash, recycling, and soft yard waste. It's becoming a little bit of an issue. Folks are forgetting that. So-
And just a reminder about cars, because is that 8 or 10 feet? I notice some people sometimes will.
But 3 feet between the cars?
No, cars. I
Oh.
want to say like it's 10 to 13 feet. I think it might be
The
13.
distance between, the car is supposed to be away from the tow.
Yeah,
A lot.
yeah, probably about 8 feet. Yeah,
I think I was told like 13, but I'm not certain, but
I'd have to look that up for you. I'm not sure exactly.
'cause
I think it's 10.
Yeah, 8, 10.
maybe they just said
The average,
13.
10.33.
No, I know, except that if you're driving the truck, I think that they're very stringent about that, so that's why I just mentioned it.
Yeah. We do have extended hours for soft yard waste drop-off. The landfill will be open from 8 to 4 on Saturday, November 9th, November 16th, November 23rd, and November 30th. So
Until 4?
that hopefully will help. You want me to repeat that?
Until 9th, the 16th, the
It's-
30th,
Yeah,
until 4.
so we'll be open until 4 on the following Saturdays in November.
Okay.
The 9th, the 16th, the 23rd, and the 30th. And the Four Hills landfill will be closed on Monday, November 11th, in observance Veterans Day, and curbside pickup, of course, will be delayed by 1 day. And then we will also, this is getting a little ahead of things, but we will be closed on Thursday, November 28th for Thanksgiving. We will be collecting, though, on Friday, even though technically City Hall is closed on Friday. We will be collecting trash and recycling and soft yard waste on Friday, November 29th, so. And I think that's it. Any questions?
Questions, comments for the director? Commissioner Ackerman?
Yeah, just a couple. Number one, I told Superintendent Caggiano that I would volunteer this Friday night,
Thank
along
you.
with my wife. Number two is, you may recall, it came before the board 2 or 3 or 4 months ago. Superintendent Caggiano mentioned that there was a situation on Armory Lane, was it? About possible easement activity. Has that gone to legal at all for follow-up? The road behind, Artillery Lane. excuse me.
Artillery Lane, okay.
I was just curious if there's been an outcome on that subject
I
matter.
think
The
we-
parking.
Yeah, where the,
Morgan Hollis was in to talk about that. He had a client who wanted to park. right?
Yeah, so so,
developed the whole property.
I think we
Tim
said
Cummings
no.
from Economic Development has dealt with that, and I believe that they worked out so that they could, in fact, use their loading dock, but there was not going to be any parking that was going to be allowed.
I think they agreed to just abandon the request.
What do you mean by use a loading dock?
There's a loading dock on the side of their building that they needed to gain access to, but they didn't really have any access to, so I think they
Okay.
worked something out so they could at least access the loading dock, but that they were not going to allow any parking.
Okay. Thank
so would it be fair to assume that the no parking signs that were presented to us have been removed from their building? As you recall, in the package of information that was shared with us, the property owner put up no parking signs along his entire side of the building. Have those been removed?
You know, I don't know the answer to that, but I can check, I can look into that for
It
you.
might be worthy, just so we can have some closure. Thank you.
Any other commissioners' comments? Commissioner Pappas?
Two items. I I noticed the roundabout by Nashua North, we put a lot of time into it a few years ago. It's brick, it's really high maintenance, so I don't know if that should be on our maintenance schedule. If you drive by, you can see the bricks lifting. Or if we might consider maybe something that's less maintenance for our,
The roundabout near Nashua North? Actually, we put a lot of sustainable plants in there that is very low maintenance right now.
right, oh, I'm
Yeah.
talking about I'm talking about the brickwork and the mortar around it. Oh, yeah, no, that is lovely.
I know, they did a nice job, didn't they? I don't think there are any issues with that right now, but I can look into that.
I mean, it's just,
Not that I'm aware of.
if you drive by, it just looks like the bricks are lifting and that sort
Yeah,
of thing.
okay.
So I'm wondering if we either have to have it on a regular maintenance schedule or figure out something that might be a little bit less maintenance. I don't know, just a thought, like I know that
Look at that.
it's, should be a school department issue, it's not, like we kind of inherited it. But, I mean, it's not horrible, but I would just think that with the winters we have and plows hitting
Sure.
it, and it just, I'm not sure that us keeping up brick is sustainable.
Okay.
Not that
Let
it
me
looks
take a look at it.
horrible or anything.
I'll take a look at it, yeah.
And then my second question is, for our special meeting, when we're going to get that information, I'm wondering, it's kind of tight as far as parking goes and space-wise, just in case members of the public want to come. I know this isn't available. I don't know if, say, the Aldermanic Chamber might be available, or even something like the Maine Dunstable Library. If there's a school library where parking might be a little bit easier and it's not so cramped for the public, if the public does want to come. If we might consider shifting, because it's just us and then a few members of the Board of Aldermen, if it might be more welcoming to the public if we find a spot that might be, I mean, as I said, I don't know how the availability, how many people would get Maine Dunstable School, how many would want that library during the middle of the
And
week.
which meeting are we talking about? Which meeting?
Special BPW meeting,
On what day?
November 7th. The one on November 7th, I think you're referring to?
Yes, it's a Thursday, it was moved from a Wednesday to a Thursday, so obviously there's another group that meets here at that time.
What time, do you remember? What time is the meeting?
It's at
It's
5:30.
at 5:30.
There should,
Probably the planning board or something.
Yeah, they probably meet
Yeah.
at 6:30.
What about
Unless-
208?
I think they were both, we were concerned about the size of space for everybody.
At least there's more parking, yeah, but you're right, 208 would be a little
That's
bit
tight.
cramped.
But there's a lot of parking availability.
Yeah, no, that's true,
Quite a few
'cause-
people can fit into 208. Well,
just a thought, I mean, because we have a while to post the meeting, and it's just a matter of letting us know and letting the members of the Board of Aldermen know. And who knows, maybe nobody will show up, but I think just to try to make it so that it might be more comfortable parking and that sort of thing.
well, we'll check it out. See
Just a
what
thought.
see what else is available.
Just a thought.
Looks like 208 might be booked. But most of our staff will be gone home, so that will generate some additional parking. So it should be okay. And we can move all the city cars over to the other side, so there should be plenty of.
That parking, I will tell you, that parking is tight, because even when we had our meetings at 5:30 there were a lot of city trucks that are
Yeah.
parked there.
But we could move them over to transit just to create the additional parking, because we do have quite a few city vehicles in there, so if we move those out of the way, that should.
Or, as I said, Maine Dunstable Library, that might be, there's plenty of parking there. I went to a meeting there, and parking wasn't an issue, and that's right within the ward.
We'd sort of like to use our smart board too. That's the other thing, because we have that in our conference room. So, I mean, we can give that some thought. We can see if there's any chance we can move it to City Hall.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Just a thought.
Sure.
Anything else?
Just,
Commissioner Ackerman?
thank you, Mr. Mayor. An observation and an inquiry. I was driving by the bottom of Library Hill about a week ago, maybe over the weekend, and I noticed some distress on that Christmas tree. Is there anything going on that you might be aware of? You know, the Christmas tree that we transplanted? It appeared to be like
Huh.
having some distress and leaning
Oh, dear.
forward.
I don't know.
Meaning what, it's brown or something?
It's brown, it's leaning this, it's like leaning in an odd direction. I was just, wanted to bring it to your attention, maybe.
Yes, let
That's
me
fine.
ask
No problem.
Nick about that.
Yeah.
That's not a good thing.
Now with Christmas coming. Oh,
Yeah.
Anything else? All right, personnel. Item A.
I'll move to accept the retirement of Eric Currier, automated collection equipment operator, effective October 18th, 2019.
Discussion? All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Oh,
Aye.
Whoops, sorry, Commissioner
Not,
Pease.
just I'm inquisitive. He submitted this October 9th, and he's retiring October 18th. I'm presuming his retirement was telegraphed for a month or more. He didn't just give 9 days' notice, right?
he just gave 9 days' notice.
Is that typical?
No,
All right, thank you.
it is not.
Won't ask any more questions, thank you.
Did we vote?
No, I don't think so.
All those in favor of the
Oh,
motion?
yeah, we do, we do.
Did we vote? I don't know.
no, we haven't.
All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Item B.
I'll move to approve and unseal the non-public minutes for personnel from the Board of Public Works meeting of September 26, 2019.
Discussion? All those in favor of the motion say aye.
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 Opposed? And now we, motion passes, and now we have a potential, or we have a
We have a non-public.
non-public session.
You know off the top of your head.
I move by roll call that the board go into non-public session pursuant to RSA 91A3, Section 2B, the hiring of any person as a public employee.
And I think that motion requires a roll call.
Correct.
Diane, could you please call the roll?
Mayor Donches,
Yes.
Commissioner Ackerman,
Yes.
Commissioner Pappas,
Yes.
Commissioner Moriarty,
Yes.
Commissioner Tease.
Yes?
Motion passes, and we will go into non-public session for the reasons described.
Just like, let's just make sure that they know that, just knock on the door down.